Viva la fiesta, everyone. Right now in Santa Barbara County, all over Santa Barbara County, we are having a party. We are having a fiesta. We are coming together as a community to celebrate. And right after this, I'm headed down to Santa Barbara to be part of the largest equine parade in the world. But before we start that, let me tell you about your wine club allocation. This one is huge to me. I've been thinking about something lately, and that is optimism. I have not always been the most optimistic person. However, recently I was growing our hay down in our field. We were harvesting it. I was talking to a farmer friend of mine, and I said, "Hey man, I just want to be a great farmer." And he grabs me by the shoulders, these big anvil hands, and says, "Keith, what are you talking about? You are a great farmer." And it was one of the biggest honors of my life. I absolutely loved it. He also taught me a joke, and I love this joke, and here it is. Have you ever met a non-optimistic farmer? The punchline is, if you have, they probably won't be a farmer much longer. What I'm standing in front of, this vineyard, those fields, our cattle, or even our kids we're raising, the wine bottles that we're sending to you right now, we worked on them 3 years ago. It is nothing but optimism in a bottle, and that is what Saarloos and Sons is about. Everything that we do today is in service of 2 years from now. When we harvested all of our hay to feed our cattle, we ripped it, we disced it, we seeded it, we farmed it, we cut it, we windrowed it, we baled it, and we put it in the barn. And not one thing of that was easy. Every single piece of it was hard, but it was nothing but optimism. It was growing something from the ground so we could put it into our barn, and come this winter, we could feed our cattle. That is what we are working for. We're not working towards happiness, we are working towards satisfaction. There's a big difference between those two things. Happiness is a guest that comes in, has a good time, and leaves. Satisfaction is getting up at 4 a.m., putting in the work, moving your rock an inch, an inch, an inch, an inch. And it is hard, laborious, tenacious, audacious work. But you are working towards a goal. When we put that hay inside the barn, I cried, because it was the culmination of all of that effort and all of that hard work there in front of me, knowing that I could provide for our cattle come this winter. That is satisfaction. That is optimism. Every morning when we get up and work this entire vineyard, we are doing it in pursuit of something so far down the line. The wines you're receiving in this wine club shipment, we worked on in 2021. You remember 2021? It was crazy. And we did it diligently all the way here to 2024 so we could ship it to your homes. Piece of this I want to talk to you about as well is, so many people say they are waiting to drink their Saarloos and Sons. They're waiting for this perfect night. They're waiting for this perfect moment. I have to tell you, and we all realize this, there is no perfect moment. Make tonight the perfect moment. Nothing is guaranteed tomorrow. Not one thing. Anything can happen. We all know that. We've been living through that the last 4 years. We have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. It could be another once-in-a-lifetime massive event. We just had a fire at our front door. Nothing is guaranteed. So do not die with a full cellar. Open those bottles of wine. Make tonight the perfect night. Cook dinner for your spouse. Invite your friends over. There's only 4 glasses of wine in there. Drink your wine. Enjoy the moment. Have optimism. Because when you open a bottle of wine, you want to revel in the moment that you're in. You're not trying to hit the fast forward button, trying to get to something else. You are enjoying what you're doing right now. So, make tonight the perfect night. Let's talk about these 3 wines. Each one of them, I'm going to tell you when to drink it. The first wine, drink in August. Drink this month. It is called Honyocker. And Honyocker has a picture of my niece, Lane Linda, the biggest personality in the smallest package there possibly is. My grandma used to call us Honyockers, and Honyocker is a really funny term. It kind of means like shithead, but it is a kid that has a massive personality. It's the kid that jumps off the second story of the roof onto a trampoline, over a fence, over concrete, and into a pool, which is what we did. It's a kid that loves burnouts. It's a kid that sits in the stands and yells boring so loud you can hear it on ESPN. It is Lane Linda in a bottle. It is massive personality among massive personalities. It is a GBSM, and that's a Grenache Blanc, so a white wine, a Syrah, and a Mourvedre. This wine should not exist. It doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. We are literally the only people in the world that make this thing. It is light, it is refreshing, it is effervescent, it is barely contained within the glass that it's holding it in. And Lane Linda is the perfect mascot for this wine. Honyocker came about because we had Grenache Blanc, Syrah, and Mourvedre left over. We filled all of our contracts a long time ago. My old man came to me and said, hey, you've got to pick this. I cannot have fruit hanging out in the vineyard. So we went through and did a field blend. We threw Grenache Blanc in there, Syrah on top, Mourvedre on top of that. We crushed it, we destemmed it, we punched it down. We had no idea what we were gonna get. No idea what we were gonna get. And when we tasted it, it was beautiful. It was something that was an expression of our property in a bottle. It is light, it is beautiful. It is a big flavor in a very small package. It is perfect for these hot August nights. So throw on some food, invite some friends over, pop a bottle of this and say, you have never had anything like this, I guarantee it. And that is exactly what Honyocker is. Our second wine in this shipment is called Mischief. And Mischief, you see a picture of my nephew Brady. Mischief and Mayhem. Mayhem is a picture of Cash. Mischief has a picture of Brady Saarloos. These two wines are brothers. They're grown in separate locations. Brady and Cash only have sisters, so they have become each other's brother. The beauty of these two wines is they are cut from the same stock. They are the exact same vine, one grown here on Ballard Canyon, the other one grown on El Camino Real, and they theoretically should be identical. If you think about wine as a product or as a beverage, they would be identical. But there is something so beautiful about wine, and that is the term terroir. It means sense of place. Brady is a California kid raised in Texas. Cash is a Texas kid raised in California. They are two different personalities grown in two different places, but they are cut from the same stock. Terroir means sense of place. Really beautiful wines are estate grown, like all of our wines are. And they are telling a story of a place. They're telling a story of here on Windmill Ranch or over on El Camino Real. Like if you have two kids, you feed them the same, you treat them the same, you have the same rules, same house, same everything. Would you ever expect those kids to be the same person? And the answer is, of course not. They're going to be who they are. Because if the older one, middle one, youngest one are taking on all of that information, they're taking on where they're being raised, their location they're being raised. If Cash was raised in Texas and Brady was raised in California, they'd be totally different people yet again. And that's the beauty of wine. Wine is totally dependent upon a location. This hillside tastes like that hillside. This hillside tastes like that hillside. And they are different from each other, even though genetically they are identical. Grenache is the most widely planted, most widely consumed wine on the planet. If anybody comes over and says, I don't really know much about wine, pour them Grenache, because Grenache is the dead center of wine. It's Cab without the spice, Syrah without the bite, Pinot but fully ripe. It is the dead center. Anybody asks me to pour them a glass of red wine, I always pour them Grenache. I always bring 2 bottles to every party I go to, and without a doubt, even if there's 10 bottles there, those are the first 2 bottles gone. Guaranteed, because everybody loves it. It makes the most amount of people happy, and that's why Brady's on the label. Third one is Nice, and on the label of this, you see my absolutely beautiful Nice Emery. Emery is not the youngest. She's not Lane Linda. She's not massive, huge personality, crazy, boring. She's not the Honyocker. And she's not that calm, everybody loves Brady. She is her own beautiful, massive personality right in the middle. Cab Franc is the middle child of wine, but it is exceptional. It's often overlooked, but it should be the wine that you're focusing on. Emery is that kid. She is beautiful, she's gorgeous, she does not suffer fools, she picks up causes, she pulls out her sword and asks you to follow her and brings you into the fold. That is what Cab Franc is in a bottle. You should drink this wine in October because it is summer giving way to fall. It is a warm hug, it is rich, it is beautiful, it goes with soups, it goes with all of those flavors that we're all looking forward to when it's 102 degrees on a nice fall night. That is what Cab Franc is made for. So drink Honyocker in August, Drink Mischief in September and drink Nice in October. Drink these 3 wines in those months. You can also drink them all in one night. I'm perfectly fine with that. We have made more. So when you go to Nice, what you're seeing is radiance. You're seeing that beautiful, big, broad smile. Someone that is being seen. And that is what Cab Franc is waiting for. It is waiting to be seen. It is an absolutely gorgeous wine, velvety, silky, just a warm hug of a wine. Everything I've been talking about is optimism. I need to remain optimistic 51% of the time. Everything we're doing here is in the service of the future. Those 3 kids that you see on our labels, Brielle, Emery, Lane, Brady, and Cash, they are Saarloos and Sons in the future. It is the generational wealth handed down from my great-grandparents to my grandparents to my parents to us to them, so that they can go out in the world and think that they can make a big, massive difference. It is nothing but optimism. It is the farmer's optimism in a bottle. Every single Saturday, I invite you in. I want to build longer tables, not taller fences. Most wineries, you drive around, big, huge fences, stay out. Every Saturday morning, 10 a.m., come meet me here in the vineyard. I will walk you around for an hour and a half. I will show you everything that we're doing. We are doing crazy stuff out here, but we are pushing it forward. This was my grandfather's dream. My dad made it a reality, and it's my job to perfect it. That's the goal. That's the goal. And the things we're doing now will have ramifications so far down in the future. Putting kids on labels. Why do we do that? We do that so they see someone loves them, someone cares about them, someone believes in them, and so that they can go out and do something even bigger with their life than being on a wine bottle. My mom is standing right behind this camera, and I'm standing here today because of the example she and my father set. Love your spouse, love your community, work hard, say your prayers, and do everything in the service of the future. I wouldn't be standing here today if it wasn't for the audacious nature of my dad thinking that he could do this. I wouldn't be. There would be no Saarloos and Sons without us failing over and over and over again, and the providence of getting up and pushing the rock forward and pushing the rock forward and pushing the rock forward. I have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow, but I know what I can do today. And today I can move my rock an inch. The Saarloos family lives by a creed, and it's a creed that we got to put words to. Take it on as your own. Be optimistic. We live to honor those that have come before us and prepare the way for those yet to come. That is our charge. That is our mission. We happen to make wine. Even if we are doing anything else, this is what we're doing every single day, honoring and preparing. My life is not my own. It is meant to honor those that have come before me and be optimistic and prepare the way for those yet to come. So for Keith Saarloos, go drink your wine. Do not die with a full cellar. So for Keith Saarloos, and I will close this the way I've closed every video for 16 years, live to honor those that have come before you, prepare the way for those yet to come. How was that?